All right, everybody. Thanks for coming back. Welcome. It is Friday, May 17th at precisealgorithmtrading.com. The story of the day, and by the way, I'm on vacation, so the noise in the background, we're in a party city, so it's crazy. The Dow Jones, it hit 40,000 and stayed there. So that's the first close above 40,000. It's 40,003. And it's kind of funny how that through the day you could see it just wanting to get there. And that's just even just glancing at the thing through the day. So I believe that we're going to get to this 1272 extension. And I'm not saying in one fell swoop, but we could, because now there's like some irrational exuberance going on, and that's the kind of thing that could push it there. I mean, we've gone pretty vertical to it already. We could look at the 4-hour chart. The extensions show up the same way, and the other thing to watch is that we don't break down too far below the 786, and certainly not below the 618. So that's that. Let's go look at our automated trading. So the Dow, what did it do today? 3 trades, net positive just a little bit. The Russell can't get out of its own way. 2 trades, both negative. The new NASDAQ is trying to do one of these, which is why we changed the code. The pullbacks just are not as severe, which is great. So today's trading positive net, so that's good, even though we had a couple negative stop outs. And then the old NASDAQ really is still just doing this, and eventually I do think it'll get back up above, because that's just the math. But in the meantime, that's a negative day. We have these nice pops, but I think we're going to see the majority of that when we get back to this, because if you go, sorry, not that one. If you go to the chart, like, you get these types of pops, and I can probably show you a lot more, but they have really nice win-loss ratios and better winners than losers and all that. All right, and back to this. So that's the Dow. That's really the story. Everything else kind of went with it. The S&P went up 0.1%. I'm sorry, 0.12. The Russell went down just a little bit, but yeah, not that big a deal. Look at how perfect that slide is on the hourly chart. I mean, that is, you could literally draw a trend line, cover the tops, the close prices, and when that thing breaks above, that's a trade in and of itself. Just not one I want to take, because it's just really short term, but that's a scalp. That's the Dow. The NASDAQ went down 12 points. Same kind of thing. Look at that. Very clean price action. And oil went up 0.94% today. Oh yeah, something else I guess I'll mention is that I did some math recently, and instead of the simple moving average with the weighted moving average, this is actually representing an exponential moving average, which gives us better results. And I'm not fully vested or vetted in that. I did some quick math and did a quick analysis study, and it came up quite a bit better. So I'm going to do a little bit more vetting, but you can kind of see there are some false signals, which I don't love. And there might be even a way to do a component of put the simple moving average with this, but I hate the idea of having more lines. So something we're doing, working on the math, always working on the math, trying to get a better edge. I want an edge that can't be broken in the long run. So, and as of right now, all of actually our simple moving averages are all the moving averages that we use are working out pretty well anyway. So, yeah, the big thing is just make sure you have stops set all the time. All right, the gold. Let's look at gold, GLD. That looks like it wants to bounce and break out, possibly. Now, something that would be really common here. I think this is the right tool. Let's use this one. I'm going to draw this on here because I think it's really common. Let's make it fatter. Let's make it this color. I don't know. All right. This coming up like this and then doing something like that. So, I mean, you can see the V already. Let's erase. The V, but something like that, and it's a lot like a cup and handle pattern, but you can see it actually happened here. Went higher and then pulled back to do that, but there's different schools of thought. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. What we're doing is watching for when this thing breaks. We're watching for these lines, and it really doesn't matter if it pulls back as long as we keep our stops in place. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick. So, hang on. Escape. Last thing. Point and figure chart, bullish percent. The industrials didn't move today. The NYA, the New York Stock Exchange, went up an X today, up 0.39%. Transportation index didn't move. The NASDAQ up 0.29%, not very much. The S&P 500 didn't move. The S&P 100 didn't move. And the NASDAQ 100 didn't move. So there's a whole lot of nothing going on under the hood, but it doesn't matter because prices are moving anyway, and it's because of, like I say, it's just basically a bunch of people wanting to get on board. It's the fear of missing out. So here's something else. By the way, I changed these candle colors to match that exponential moving average instead of the simple. You can see there you get a little bit of false signals. There's a red candle and followed by a green one, followed by a gray one. It's not as clean to have the gray candles that just switch right. That's the kind of thing I'm going to look at. But it's a pretty cool tool anyway. So same thing with this intraday tool to be able to look at how the markets are moving. You can see some positive volume. Basically, this is that exuberance that I'm talking about. So that's what I got. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again. Maybe not Monday night because it might be late. Maybe just have to skip the Monday review and do the follow-up on Tuesday. So until then, take care. Good trading. Have a great weekend.